What's up, guys? This is Mike Loris with game number 2 between Absolute Legends on the Radiant and Team Liquid now on the Dire. Team Liquid taking game number 1 using a Faceless Void Magnus combo ultimate Super Saiyan fusion team. And that is exactly what happened. They kind of just went all over Absolute Legends with some giant team fight. And Absolute Legends couldn't get their team fight up to snuff to actually combat that. Team Liquid this time going to ban out the Keeper's Light. Even though it was relatively successful, they really just don't want Absolute Legends to get their hands on that hero. They're instead going to let Batrider get through, and Batrider is going to be picked up first by Absolute Legends, following up the Lifestealer as well as Magnus. So Absolute Legends once again going to be running that Lifestealer. And this time he has well, last time he had some pretty good infest targets as well. He's gonna have that Magnus who has some extraordinary what is the word? Synergy with the Lifestealer. Because you could skewer in, get that infest damage going, and then once you have Empower on the Lifestealer, everyone from Team Liquid is going to be in a lot of pain. Batrider as well, don't really have to make much mention of him. If he's in the pool, you take him, pretty much no exception. Because he's such a strong hero, could dominate a mid lane, could go into the off lane in an emergency situation, or hell, even if you want to, he could go into the jungle. So just the versatility that you get from the Batrider, this constant slow, one stack decreases the turn speed to pretty much increases the turn rate to like insufferable amounts. It's horrible. So Batrider, of course, is a hero that you always want to pick up in Team Liquid. Going to go for some really unconventional picks as their first three. Not going to opt for something like a Darkseer or Lifestealer Magnus, or Undying or something like that. Going to open up instead with the Lone Druid, Shadow Demon, as well as the Weaver. This is a really peculiar combination. I imagine it's going to be a Lone Druid on the hard lane, Weaver on the easy lane with a Shadow Demon to support him. However, Absolute Legends is going to ban out the Darkseer. I guess you just don't want to play against the Darkseer, even if you don't think the enemies are going to pick it up. Darkseer is a very annoying hero to play against, no matter what situation you're in. But Team Liquid, with this lineup, they do have some pretty good anti-Lifestealer. Lone Druid and Lifestealer do have that weird interaction where Lifestealer does a lot of damage to Lone Druid because Lone Druid has a lot of HP, but Lone Druid can entangle the Lifestealer through his rage. So it's kind of like a, let's just say a wash. At worst, it's a wash. But Weaver is incredibly potent against Lifestealer, as is Shadow Demon. Get that Demonic Purge, and Lifestealer won't be able to hit anything just because he won't be able to catch up to anything. You have that Weaver also dancing circles around that Lifestealer, and Lifestealer in the end won't be able to do all that much unless he gets sufficient lockdown from his team, which Lifestealer, his team, is more than capable of offering that lockdown. Batrider with that lasso, Magnus with that reverse polarity. And then anyone else who they want to pick up who's going to offer a stun of sorts was going to say Rubik, however that's not going to happen as it was just banned out. And Team Liquid do have some really solid late game. Combined with Weaver and Lone Druid means that there's just so much carry potential on Team Liquid's side, more than enough to overpower the Lifestealer. So it's really going to be up to Absolute Legends to make sure that Weaver and Lone Druid don't get that farm, because if this game lasts like 40 plus minutes, then Absolute Legends are going to have a horrible time. If they prevent Weaver from getting farm early through ganks, through lane pressure, through whatever means, if they prevent the Lone Druid from getting his farm as well, then they should be fine to dominate the early mid game.
5 seconds
because Weaver as well as Lone Druid, they're decent in the early mid game, but really Weaver, his prime is super late and at like the level 2-3 mark when he could do some sizable damage with the Shukuchi. With the little support he gets some really early game kills. Really Weaver isn't going to do that much damage, especially if he goes for a Lincoln Sphere, which I imagine he will, try to prevent that lasso from Batrider to come through. So Weaver's damage is mostly going to be just from that Shukuchi. Lone Druid as well, if he gets his farm, if he gets an early Relic Radiance, then he could be a potent threat, but otherwise he's just a big meat sack with a chance to entangle. That's something that you could easily take care of with the likes of the Lifestealer. Absolute Legends can finish off their bans with the Queen of Pain as well as the Puck, eliminating two very strong mid lane heroes.
5 seconds
Just don't want to play against Team Liquid. They will have the Batrider in that mid lane, so whoever is going to go mid as Team Liquid is going to not have the best time in the world. And Team Liquid banning out the Nature's Prophet, getting rid of that jungling kind of supporty side of Absolute Legends, as well as the Rubik and the Bane Elemental. Just more tri-lane heroes that Absolute Legends can run. hero still in the pool if Liquid want to pick that up as another support. But really, it's like, do they actually want to lane a tri-lane with the Weaver? Usually when you see Weaver, it is a solo lane, because the more experience you get on Weaver, the more damage he's going to do. Yes, the farm is good, but really, in a tri-lane situation, you don't want to cut off the Weaver's experience that much, even if you may be getting gold, because you want him to get high levels of Shukuchi. You want him to get that 1 point of Swarm, and then some Germinate attack. And really, Lone Druid, kind of the same way. So Team Liquid with supports don't really have heroes that need babysitting, or that even want babysitting. Compare that to the Lifestealer on Absolute Legends, who, he could do pretty well in the lane. However, in a 1 vs 1 situation, he won't really win. He excels with gold extremely well. Experience, not that useful. The Rage is really the only high priority for the Lifestealer. 1 point in open wounds is all you need. Feast does add a little bit to your survivability and damage, but you could get survivability and damage by building an armlet. Lifestealer is a hero that kind of needs support a lot more than Weaver, as well as the Lone Druid. And Team Liquid going to pick up that Windrunner. I imagine it's going to be a solo mid Windrunner. In response to that, Absolute Legends going to do a very, very smart thing and to get more disable. They just had those ultimate disables from Magnus as well as Batrider, whatever Chen can pick up in the forest. But Shadow Shaman with the Hex is going to be one of Absolute Legends, if not, well, he's going to be the best tool that they have to kill off the Weaver. The Ether Shock itself is going to do a lot of damage to the Weaver, but combine that with the hard disables, that means Weaver won't be able to Shukuchi, won't be able to time-lapse any of that damage out, and that means Lifestealer, as well as Chen, they're going to have all the time in the world to kill that Weaver. Of course, disables are always useful, and with their final 2 picks, Absolute Legends have actually picked themselves up a rather decent pushing lane. Shadow Shaman doesn't really get to be all that strong in the pushing until that level 6 mark. By the time Shadow Shaman gets to level 6, Chen should be at least level 6 as well. Possibly level 7. That means a whole Chen army is going to be up there. Then Absolute Legends can systematically go to each of Team Liquid's towers and bring it down, one after another after another. And Team Liquid, their counter push isn't that great. They'll have the power shot from the Windrunner, but Lone Druid and Weaver don't really offer anything as far as counter push goes. I guess they could just like draw aggro. They're gonna go for the Disruptor as their final pick, try to get rid of that team fight from Absolute Legends. But really, I don't think it's the team fight that Team Liquid have to worry about. It's the fact that AL can just demolish their towers constantly. And Disruptor will have the Thunderstrike, although usually you max out the Glimpse first. So Glimpse is going to be at the highest level, so Thunderstrike won't be able to clear off the creep wave. So Absolute Legends going to have a lot of space made for themselves by Rise and Miracle, who are playing the Chen and Shadow Shaman to push down these towers. And Liquid, with only Power Shot and possibly a couple points in Shadow Poison, actually probably a lot of points in Shadow Poison to defend that push, it's going to be very, very easy for them to take these towers, because Team Liquid don't have any counter push this time. They did not pick up the Keeper of the Light. In fact, they banned him out. So if Team Liquid manages to defend those pushes, or manage to find a lot of farm in the Weaver and Lone Druid while those pushes are occurring, then they should be fine. But if not, then AL are going to get so much gold, and then they're just going to roll out of control. Already went over the Shadow Shaman and Chen, so we're going to have Mania on that Batrider. Miggle is going to be playing that Magnus. And of course, we see Unicorn once again on the Lifestealer. On Liquid side, we see TC playing that Lone Druid. Bulba is on the Weaver. IX Mike is going to be supporting as a Shadow Demon. Korok is going to be playing that Windrunner, and Fluff is going to be playing the Disruptor. Bulba taking a more hard carry role than the last game where he played the Clockwork. Look at these guys. So friendly, I love it. But Bulba, with his gear right now, it looks like he's going to go solo onto the bot lane, possibly. I don't know. The Weaver does usually go to a solo lane. Against Mania, he will have a very decent time, although is there any magic sticks picked up yet? That would signify who's going to go against the Batrider. No, not quite yet. So Liquid kind of holding their cards close to the chest, though TC is moving up to that top lane. So Batrider versus a Lone Druid is a very, very favorable lane for the Batrider, in my opinion, just because the Batrider will be able to constantly control the Lone Druid and his bear both with that sticky napalm. And Lone Druid, although he is ranged, I think more ranged than the Batrider, 375 versus 550, and he has the bear as well. Batrider, if he gets level 3, then he instantly go for kill on the very, very soft Lone Druid, even through the bear. The bear could try to help with a lucky entangle, but more likely than not, that is not going to happen. Bot lane, it is going to be Bulba supported by Ix Mike and a dual lane? No, it's going to be dual lanes for Liquid. What year is it? Fluff going to head up to the top lane, so Batrider is not going to have a fun time at all now up against two heroes. Bot lane, Lifestealer is also going to have his farm restricted somewhat by the Shadow Demon, picked up level 1 Disruption. Miracle as well as Rise won't be able to help for a little bit. They're going to be focusing on their own well-being, getting the early camps killed, as well as focusing for a creep stack and pull. So Unicorn in the meantime is going to go solo up against Bulba, which he's not going to have a fun time with either. Bulba should have enough damage to both harass back the Lifestealer and keep himself safe at the same time. And Ix Mike still hiding himself on this bot lane. Liquid only have shown that Fluff and stuff is up on this top lane, so Mania might be a little bit cautious in expecting that Ix Mike is here as well, but Ix Mike still completely unspotted as Weaver's going to try to do a little bit of creep jacking. Miracle is going to get a shock on that creep. We do have rotation coming in from Rise. Ix Mike now going to reveal himself. I think he's still hidden. Miracle going to get that shackle on the Bulba. No real follow-up from this. No, there is a troll trap as well as Sentry Ward. Got to run out of there. Shock as well as right clicks will kill off Bulba. Dies immediately. Miracle, an early level 2 on him is going to give him first blood, or give Rise first blood rather. And really, Ix Mike hiding himself for perhaps a little bit too long. If he was a little bit closer, he could have gotten that defensive disruption, cancel off the troll trap. But now, oh, Liquid, they're a little bit too overconfident, especially Ix Mike. He's in a ton of trouble. If that net lands, he's pretty much as good as dead. Bulba as well. Do they have any more sentry wards? That's the question. They have some on the Crow, but really none to fly in. Ix Mike is going to get trapped in that net. Miracle does have that shackle, and he's going to use it. The right click damage will fly through as well as the nuke damage from Rise. Unicorn is going to get this last hit. No, Rise wants it. Okay, don't give it to your carry. You don't need him farmed. Gotta get that Chen farm, baby. Get the early boots, get the early flying courier, then go kill things. Chen carry, do it. Dagon as well as Holy Persuasion, or Penitence rather. A lot of bonus damage. Used to actually be a thing in pubs back in like what, 08 or something like that. Good times, good times, the best times actually. You just go lane Chen, max out your nuke as well as Penitence, and just burst people down. Then later on you'd be completely useless. Oh no, Miracle with the haste rune has found himself a wild Windrunner. He's sitting a little bit too close to that tower, however, and Miracle's going to take a lot of damage in retaliation. Level 2 power shot won't be enough to kill the Shadow Shaman because of all the creeps there. Damage would have been enough, however, just barely. Brock in a little bit of trouble, but he did survive that little engagement. Now Fluff and stuff trying to fight back the Batrider, trying to defend his creep pull. Really a little bit of harassment happening all over the map, aside from the couple of kills happening on the bot lane. Looks like the mid lane and top lane are relatively tame. Gotta wait for Rise. He does still have that Troll Warlord with another net, enough mana to cast it as well. Miracle with that 1 point shackle will really be all that they need to kill off Ix Mike, because Weaver won't be able to. What the hell? Ha! My phone alarm. I was supposed to wake up by now, so good on me. And if you heard that, then yes, that is what you think it is. But I don't think my mic could actually pick that up. Alright, so yeah, unless Rise as well as Miracle could just swoop in and get a kill onto Bulba or Ix Mike. And really, whoever gets targeted is pretty much going to die. Especially if there's sentry wards. Even though the disruption might come onto Bulba, the damage as well as the lockdown will be a lot. Unless the disruption is absolutely perfectly timed. If they go for Ix Mike, then Bulba cannot do anything to help out except for a little bit of counter harassment, but really against Rise as well as Miracle, it's not going to be enough counter harassment with the Shikuchi and right clicks to make them really be scared for their lives. Troll Trap moving in, looking for Korok, skewering him backwards. So Korok's going to be thankful for that. Miracle just wanted to get a little bit of damage on him perhaps. Rise still with that one troll, not yet at that level 5 mark, so he can't even get 2 creeps. And Bulba already taking some pretty heavy damage on the spot lane. Shadow Shaman doing the support job. Usually we don't see Shadow Shaman picked up in games because he has such low movement speed, and if you go aggressive on him, his low HP means he's not going to live for very long. But in such a situation where Liquid are pretty much unable to go aggressive on the Shadow Shaman, he's really going to shine. Now Rise moving forward, going to get the trap onto Bulba. He is going to land it. Is there any follow-up? The shackles need to be in time. The shackle will be there. No, the disruption immediately, and Fluff teleporting in as well. Ice Mike is going to take some heavy damage, but in the end, Bulba is safe. Unicorn going to get Glimpse back as well. Kinetic Field, there is no Kinetic Field. 2 points in Glimpse instead. Unicorn can take one more stack of Shadow Poison, but he will be fine to survive that. In the end, with teleportation coming out from Liquid, it means no one's going to die. However, AL has successfully pulled out 135 gold from the very, very low reserves of Fluff and stuff, and he's really, really hurting on gold. Now it is a full tri-lane for Liquid, going to get a disruption onto that Shadow Shaman. The Shadow Poison going to fly as well. Miracle going to take a lot of damage. Shukuchi going to kill him off, get the shackle onto Bulba, however, taking a couple of tower shots. Bulba's going to die in exchange. Beautiful shackle from the Shadow Shaman in his last dying moments. The troll is out of mana static. The kinetic field is going to go up, possibly save Ice Mike. No, the right click from the Lifestealer going through that kinetic field. He's going to pick up that kill as well. 4-1 for AL. Unicorn has popped that level 6 mark. Going to use that Infest to get himself back up to full life, or close to full life. And AL this time dominating their lanes. Korok with double damage rune trying to get a kill onto Miggle, but it's not going to be enough with that skewer. Really, Bulba is not getting anything from this lane. 12 CS versus the 33 of Lifestealer. Yeah, Bulba is very, very far behind, and he can't really get ahead, because Lifestealer is a hero that if you let him get the early farm, then you will regret it. You will definitely regret it. Weaver, if you deny him the early farm, then he's pretty useless. Granted, Liquid do have TC, who's going to run a Hand of Midas on this top lane. It's going to be a very, very quick Hand of Midas as well. Something like 8 minutes. Burst Polarity used on Korok will allow for Miracle to close the distance and get a shackle off within tower range, no less. Miracle is going to participate and get another kill. 1-1-3 on him. Everything really going the way of AL, except for the top lane. Mania is having a decent time. He's not getting completely shut down like the Weaver is. But against the Lone Druid, against TC's Lone Druid, he is struggling a little bit. However, here is what I was talking about. Not quite yet, actually. Rise is level 6, does have his Hand of God. Miracle, though, has not hit that mark. So the pushing power is not going to be the strongest for AL. But in just a little bit, they will be able to put a lot of heat onto the Liquid towers. TC is the only real thing that's going well for Liquid. I guess Korok is also doing okay, but gold per minute, he is behind the Magnus because of that death, really solidifying that lane as a win for AL. Ready Arcane Boost as well as Bottle up on the Magnus. Probably going to be the Blink Dagger as the next order of business. And now we see Bulba in a little bit of trouble. Miracle looking for that Hex, looking for that Shackle. Not going to land either. Bulba with the Shukuchi. Going to get himself away, although straight towards Rise. Surprise! Troll Trap. Now Bulba's going to take some heavy damage. Nuke as well. Does Chen himself have enough damage to kill him off? No, he does not. Shukuchi saving Bulba. It's really difficult to kill a Weaver, but at the same time, you can't kill him, yes, but... Oh my... What? How? What? Magnus too good. Miggle too good. Sniped out the Weaver. I didn't even see if he got hit by the Shukuchi. I'm assuming he did. This looks like Shukuchi damage. But wow. Magnus with the blind shockwave killing off the Weaver. I was just about to say that it was difficult to kill the Weaver, but not if you're a freaking seer. Then it's pretty easy. Miggle gonna rotate around into TC, gonna get glimpsed back. Mania, however, is a little bit too far away to help out regardless, so Miggle just burning out the glimpse, no big deal. Nothing happened. You didn't even see it. He's gonna use the rest of the haste rune to go to the mid lane, where there is still a very juicy target in Korok as well as Ix Mike. Burst Polarity can land, although it's gonna intrude on Miracle's ability to get experience. Miggle can look for the skewer into Burst Polarity, not gonna be in time. Korok playing a relatively safe game on this mid lane. He should be fine unless he gets caught out by something like a smoke or a haste rune from the Shadow Shaman. Top lane Mania continuing to try to hold onto this lane as TC just farming it up. I really hope to use that Hand of Midas on his bear instead of on his Lone Druid instead of his bear. Use it on the bear, you don't get that extra experience, and that's pretty much like half of the item right there, getting that extra experience. Rise as well as Shadow Shaman, both level 6, and they can make some very, very intense things happening right now. If Rise's creeps aren't exactly what I would call healthy, but in the end, does it really matter, because they could just bulldoze down this bottom lane tower. Bulba can't do anything about it. Korok is going to be the one who has to teleport in if they want to hold it. With the Serpent Wards up on the Shadow Shaman, as well as 2 creeps up on Rise. Very low HP, but Hand of God is available, so they're essentially high HP. This tower's going to drop, and Bulba has nothing to do about this. Can't even throw out a swarm. Even if he does, there's just going to be more farm for AL. Unicorn pressuring back Bulba, has no intention of casting anything. There's the Hand of God keeping all the creeps very, very healthy, but the tower is going to try to be fortified. In the meantime, mid lane, disruption onto the Magnus. They can't actually kill him off, however. Not enough damage, and well, Mike already took some pretty sizable damage himself. Miguel on the run, going to find himself a double damage rune. Tower destroyed by the Lifestealer. That is going to be a free tower for Team Liquid, and the beauty is free tower for AL. And the beauty is that they could do that every single 110 seconds. Every 110 seconds, it's going to be a tower taken from Liquid because they cannot stop it. They don't have the means to stop it. They could continue to push down spot lane, although that would give Bulba a little bit more farm, a little more gold for Team Liquid, although. So in another minute, we'll see what their next target is going to be. But Chen, as long as he has 1 creep, then that is going to be enough for to make a push, because Miracle is going to have those Serpent Wards, and with 1 Arcane Boots, 2 Arcane Boots, 3 Arcane Boots, and a Hex onto Bulba, the Shackle is going to land as well, and Bulba's dead. That's it. Game over, man. Game over. Unicorn coming in from the side, and Miracle with a long range Shackle somehow landing. I don't know how he did that. Yeah, AL have 4 Arcane Boots, I believe. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they just have 3 Arcane Boots. But still, that's more enough to sustain the push for Miracle, and they're just going to go straight for the tier 2 tower. Don't even need the Serpent Wards, man. They have the Dark Troll, which isn't the best for pushing, although when the Skeleton Warriors are nice, you generally want the auras. Instead, the Wieldkin with the Toughness aura really going to help out in that push. It's going to put a little bit of hurt on that tower, forcing 3 down onto the spot lane. Korok is finally here. Fluff is looking for a glimpse of that range. It is not going to be enough. I wonder what happens if you glimpse him and then he teleports back while the glimpse is still moving. I wonder if you could just yank him back and cancel off the Chen's teleport. I wonder, that would be really interesting. Nigel playing it a little bit dangerous on this mid lane, going to get initiated upon by Bulba, although Sentry under those are not observed wards from AL. So Bulba's still unspotted, however he's going to have to worry about a maxed out Shock Shadow Shaman, which can do some pretty heavy damage to that Weaver. Nuke on the Korok. Miracle is going to close the distance for a Hex. Not enough time for the net. There's a Static Storm as well as Kinetic Field going up onto Miracle, who is going to be left for dead. Disruption now onto someone. Who's going to be? It is Unicorn. Comes back onto Miguel as well for perfect reverse polarity opportunity. Now he's going to walk out of there. Shackle Shot going to land. Bulba on the front lines. Going to kill off Miguel, who somehow had his skewer stopped. Bulba's going to continue the chase for Unicorn. One more power shot going to bring him down to dangerously low amounts of HP, but he's going to be just fine. Would find themselves a couple of desperately needed kills. They're going to transition that into a push onto the tier 1 mid tower, which AL, they can't really defend without their Magnus. They're going to teleport a couple people in. It's going to be the Shadow Shaman does have those Serpent Wards, so they can and will defend that tower. The Serpent Wards, again, are up. And Chen, how many creeps does he have? He has just 1 now, because 1 got sniped off, although he's picked up another one. Satyr Tormentor, Nuke, to clear out the creep wave just that much quicker. And with Magnus now packing a Blank Dagger, the next target is going to be the mid lane. And Team Liquid, they could try to defend this, and I wish them best of luck, because it's going to be incredibly difficult. Shockwave as well as Power Shot, really all 5 from AL still over here. Miguel with the negs inside of him. Serpent Wards are going to drop. Don't even think they really needed to do that, but Miguel's still on the front lines looking for a Blink reverse polarity. Liquid are going to let this tower go because they don't have any other option. There's a Blink forward. Mania going to find the Shackle onto Korok. Even the Glimpse actually going to break that Shackle. Very well done by Fluff. Korok taking some minimal damage from that. Miguel's still on the front lines. Going to take a couple hits from this bear. Going to get entangled as well. Lifestealer just going to pop on out of there. There's Static Storm as well as Kinetic Field. Miguel is in a lot of trouble. He's going to just barely survive. 13 HP. Hand of God flying out as well. Unicorn, meanwhile, on the front lines, distracting the rest of Liquid. Rise is going to pull back his creeps into the range of Serpent Wards. Liquid, you gotta get out of here. There's a 3-man versus Polarity. 2-man, actually. TC is going to survive, albeit barely, whereas Ike's Might got annihilated immediately. Miracle with a double kill. And Liquid on the run. 14 minutes in, already a 9-3 advantage going the way of AL, plus 2 towers on top of that. They're going to keep this gravy train rolling because they still do have all these Chen creeps available, and Liquid without their Shadow Shaman, without their Lone Druid, can't do anything to counter this. It's going to be a free tier 2 tower for AL. Mania still in the front lines, pressuring back, even though he doesn't have his lasso, it doesn't really need it to pressure back. Magnus does pick up that tower. Miracle, what is the cooldown on those Serpent Wards? Another 40 seconds, so head up to the top lane very, very slowly. And then push that one down, because Rise now has his trio of creeps. 3 big ones, 3 useful ones, I'd say. and the top tower is going to be the next order of business. Liquid, they need more space. That's what they need. If they get space and time, then they could be fine. However, good luck getting that, because AL, they're playing this exactly as they need to. Every single time Shadow Shaman has his wards, they are pushing. They don't even need wards for this one, quite honestly. They could save those for the tier 2s. They have their lasso up as well, so if Liquid do try to mount a defense, it's not going to be very successful for them. Liquid doing the smart thing, they're instead going to go for counter push, knowing that all 5 from AL are over there. However, AL, they're going to abandon the push as quickly as they've engaged upon it. Miggle going to try to skewer to cancel off that's the glimpse. It's not going to work. There's the blink forward, no reverse polarity. Miggle is going to bring Unicorn straight into the center of the fight as Rise already snipes off that Weaver. Stackstorm is up, going to kill off the Batrider, Fluff and Stuff, as Korok, though, on the run. They're completely surrounded. There's a Shockwave onto Korok, and he's going to get killed by the freaking neutrals. Fluff and Stuff on the run from Unicorn as well. One more tap from Chen, going to give him a dominating streak. There's 3 down from Liquid, and only 1 down in exchange for that. AL, they, in the end, have dropped the wards on this top lane to take down the tier 1. They're going to move straight back up there because all the Chen creeps are still around. They can't really travel around with their master. But now Blink Reverse Polarity is up on Magnus, and Liquid, they are definitely in a lot of trouble right now because they're losing all their towers. The gold advantage is huge for AL, and it's going to continue to grow. Experience following exactly the same way. Next tower is going to drop very, very shortly, and there's nothing that Liquid could do about this. Even if they wanted to, they could not defend this tower. Next order of business, I suppose, for AL would be head on down to this bottom lane tower, take that one out, slide to Roshan, then try to go for the high ground. Because they still do have a lot of momentum. Chen creeps at this point, 16 minutes in, are still incredibly potent. If this was 30 minutes in, then maybe not so much. Liquid would have enough damage just throughout random AoE casts to kill off Chen's creeps, and then Chen won't really be that big a threat. But right now, Chen's creeps still have a lot of HP, do a lot of damage, and AL, they're just starting to run away with this game, and I don't know if Liquid can actually come back from this, because Bulba, he has absolutely nothing. He's going for a drum, but he is at the bottom of the gold per minute chart. TC does have a lot. He's going to go for a lightning hammer, which is going to help with that anti-push, but really, it's a case of a little bit too little, a little bit too late. As we have Blink Daggers, BKBs up on the Shadow Shaman, big items coming up from AL. Liquid, they're not looking to be in that great shape. As I predicted, the next order of business was going to be that bot tier 2 tower, and Liquid trying to make a trade once again. However, we remember what happened last time they tried to make a trade. Serpent wards are down, so this tower is guaranteed to drop, and is AL going to teleport to defend their top tower? Chen doesn't have a TP, not that a big deal, but they're going to apparently let it fall. In the meantime, Miggle going to find TC with the help of Unicorn. TC taking some huge damage from that beast. Unicorn is going to, Magnus, I'm sorry, is going to kill off the lone druid. That means that Liquid, knowing that it's going to be a 4v5, or a 3v4 at least on this top lane, going to continue to push. A little bit of pause action, but it's 13-4. Liquid are down their biggest hero, and AL are continuing to barrel down that bot lane. Tower was picked up on this top lane, however. Can give a little bit more gold to Liquid, but the tower gold that they get from that is really not substantial at all. Chen even looking to extend his pushing potential, not through auras, but through more units. I guess the units also have an aura, so yeah, they're just going to get a Necro Book. Why the hell not? Liquid can't do anything about that. They can't do anything about your Chen creeps. They sure as hell can't do anything about those extra creeps that you get from that Necro Book. Creep wave going to get thinned out as we have Unicorn as well as the Magnus going to move right on in. Pop off some arcane boots for everyone, even moving in the way of the swarm just to get a little bit of extra gold. Why not? They're not actually a threat. Batrider looking for an opening. Satyr was the only casualty of that little battle, and Rise might want to fall back. Yeah, they're going to fall back. Everyone from Liquid is going to be up, so AL is just going to play it safe. Get a little bit more farm onto Unicorn, who is incredibly stacked, by the way. Armlet Drum, Phase Boots, 18 minutes into the game with another 1,800 gold on him, 419 gold per minute. He's going to be an extremely potent late game powerhouse, and TC, as tanky as he might be, is just not tanky enough. Liquid going to try to make something happen through the use of the Smoke of Deceit. Bulba is supposedly being laid out to dry, however, he is just going to scoot you away, and he has that invisibility, so he's going to join his team shortly. If Liquid could find 1 or 2 kills here, that would be huge to bring them back into the game, but it looks like instead they're going to go for that Roshan. With TC's Bear to tank, they should have enough damage to take this, and AL don't really have that huge global nuke like Rocket Flare or a Ice Blast to scout this out. So Liquid should be able to take this out. The Observer Ward is going to spot all of AL, going to try to converge in. Really, without the Shadow Shaman, this Roshan is going to drop. Liquid's going to throw out those. Oh no, Fluff on the high ground, Korok on the high ground. Disaster for Liquid. Oh, this is going to be horrible. AL going to move straight in. There's a Static Storm, as well as the Tank Field, going to trap Unicorn, but he already got the Rage off, so he's taking nothing from that. TC does pick up the Aegis, but forced to the high ground. 3 on the high ground from Liquid. And AL, they could choose their pick. Who do they want to kill? Mania could just go up there and kill whoever he wants to. They don't even have Blink Daggers. Power shotting out. Korok is going to find Ice Spike and Bulba. Fluff Stuff bounce back to the low ground. Fluff Stuff's going to die. Absolutely disastrous from Team Liquid, and who actually got the Aegis. I think TC picked it up. Yes, he did. So I guess he got something out of that, but really, AL, I mean, they got the Aegis, they got the Roshan kill, they only lost 1, and AL didn't get anything for that. So I guess, despite the fact that they all got bounced to the high ground, it really didn't go too poorly, because the Firefly was not available, so they couldn't really just put some fire over them and then call it a day. So I guess Liquid kind of getting a lucky break. They could have dropped a whole lot more heroes if that flame break didn't push them all to the high ground. Essentially, it did save them from a lot of hassle. However, yeah, the fight just didn't occur, so Liquid got a little bit lucky there. They did get the Aegis. They got everything they came for, with only losing 1. Hell, you can't really ask for a better situation. However, now they're going to be up against another aggressive push from AL. Can they defend this one? Level 1 Serpent Ward still. Shadow Shaman still 2 levels away from getting that to level 2. They're going to have to face up against Reverse Polarity, Lasso with the Blink Force Staff, as well as a Chen, who is going to pack an army as well as a Necro Book army soon enough. Still looking for a couple creeps, unfortunately not finding any good ones. So AL just going to, stake out around this secret shop area, push down the bot lane, push down the mid lane whenever they can. Rise only coming in with 1 creep. Not the most useful for him. Really needs a couple more creeps if this push is going to be successful. Because Liquid now do have a Lightning Hammer on the bear. It's not going to be the most counter push in the world, but it's going to be something. Unless, of course, Mania gets a good initiation, which he can do so. Unicorn, who's he going to pop into? Probably the Bat Rider, right? I imagine. Or not into anyone. Just going to breach the high ground with that Rage Armlet. Bear right on him. He's going to take a little bit of damage, but he's going to fall back. Just be fine. Glimpse. As well as, nope. Infest canceling off the Glimpse. Beautiful from Unicorn. Now Lasso onto Fluff Stuff. Nuke down by Rise. One-shotted. Unicorn going to take a failed Shackle, and he's going to try to move in for Ix Mike. Miggle will blink forward. Reverse Polarity onto 2. Ix Mike and Bulba both ward trapped as well. Bulba's going to time lapse out of their disruption onto Ix Mike, but he's still trapped. He is so dead. Miracle going to take that one out. Rise going to try to kill Korok. Korok is going to get a Shackle Shot onto Rise. Power Shot as well. There goes the Hand of God, healing both Unicorn as well as himself, although Rise popping off the mech should be just fine. Blink forward from Miggle, going to skewer Bulba back into the range of that Shackle. Miracle going to get yet another kill. Tower is going to drop as well. Korok on the run, but GG already being called by Fluff Stuff. He's had enough of this game. 4-17, 22 minutes into the game. AL strike back from their loss in the first game. They strike back incredibly hard. The relentless pushing, Liquid just got out-drafted, I feel. But that's going to be it for this game, guys. Liquid have had enough, and we're going to move on to a game number 3. This could possibly be AL's first victory in the Premier League Season 4. The first victory of a set. But that remains to be seen in game number 3. So we're going to move straight on to that, just because everyone from Liquid is already gone. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this, like, subscribe, tell your friends, all that good stuff. If you didn't, constructive criticism for the win. But also, right now, AL for the win over Team Liquid. GG.
Dyer's mid tower. The Radiant done it.